Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another installment of TEDXcellence, where we check out self-help shenanigans for fun and profit. And I come to you live from my Corona bunker on the moon with Dogcat Fox, a Pepperjack, and all of you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thursday. Tempestuous Thursday. Yes, back once again. Hopefully to become better people by the end of this, or at least have a better idea of ourselves. But I ain't holding my breath because I'm on the moon and I have a pressurized atmosphere. Thank goodness. I hope everyone is well. Let's see, what do we got here? Sorry, I got to check, make sure all my windows are opened and set up. All right, so today's subject, per usual, the name of it caught my attention more than anything else. Experiential well-being, the sly new driver of performance. I don't know what experiential well-being is per se, but I'm sure we'll find out. It all sounded very corporate speak. And so in order to understand and define, I thought we'd take a look. But who is joining me on this adventure of self-discovery today? That would be Tux Mint. Hello. Wade Waleson. Hello. Raziel. Hello. John Miller. Hello. Keeverdam. Hello. Debatefly. Hello. Check Your Logic. Hello. Black Belt for Christ. Hello. Somnamnul Nation. Hello. Jake Tungseth. Hello. You're Ridiculous Lunatic. Hello. Non-Vitae Rex. Hello. Zeke Weiss. Hello. Roger Reynolds. Hello. Mike R. Hello. Lurking Gopher. Hello. Jago Dragon. Hello. Jago Dragon, hello. Corey Suzuki, hello. Mike Savage, Blard. Decode, hello. Crimson Tiger, hello. The Other Choice, hello. Tia Flurix, hello. Tall Person, hello. Jonathan Peterson, hello. Gunfox61, hello. Robert Lapine, hello. The Luke Skywalker 2, hello. Green Death, hello. Nobody Not Me, hello. Leo Prime 75, hello. Brad Young, hello. Gulf City Johnny Blaze, hello. Robert Pincus, hello. Thank you, Tall Person. Hoy all, not going to watch live, really drained from shoveling after the blizzard. Happy Wright Brothers Day. Ooh. Well, first off, get some rest. Shoveling snow's no fun. Happy Wright Brothers Day. Kitty Hawk and all that good stuff. Yay, Wright Brothers. And too bad for all those people that had their other contraptions set up and they fell off their roofs and died or broke their legs or something. Megan Ring, hello. Ethan Robbins, hello. The Pissed Off Shih Tzu, hello. And we can finally begin because Lexi Mads, hello. Necrosol Collins, also hello. All right, guys. So the poll for the bingo card was a last-minute thing. I had work going on, and I completely spaced on putting up the poll at the same time I announced the show. So the poll I did post 15 minutes ago ended up being card B. B as in boy. Link to the card is in the description. So get your bingo card ready. We'll see if it actually applies to this one because we're here to get some self-help, I think, or to learn how self-help can perform driving stuff. I don't know. Anyway, let me start off with a few seconds for sound test. You guys tell me if we can hear this. Hopefully we can hear it. If you can hear it, and then we'll begin.
The future of well-being is evolving.
The future of well-being is evolving. He says on his, I don't know, virtual TEDx stage. I'm assuming coronavirus TEDx stage. Sounds good, says Dina B. I've lost that love and feeling, says some ambulation. Ethan Robbins says it's good. All right. Tell me about the evolving well-being.
With 3 important distinctions.
3 important distinctions? Uh-oh, we already have a list. Oh my gosh, free space and a list. Circle those on your bingo card, guys. That's quick. Thank you, Lady Gopher, for the #1 Dogcat Fox. That's right. Oh, Dogcat Fox. All right.
I've been in this field for 25 years, and it's growing exponentially. And it's completely fascinating to me, and I'm very excited to share it with you today. But first, I think there's something that you should know.
Oh, boy. A confession. 25 years in this field. The field of well-being? I don't know. All right.
I want you to imagine you're meeting someone for the first time.
Ooh. Okay. I'm meeting someone for the first time. Okay. Okay. Under what circumstances?
And you notice this colorful, stringy, messy cloud streaming from the back of their head.
Okay. Stringy, messy cloud streaming from the back of their head. I'm trying to imagine this.
Then you wonder, what is that?
Yes, I am distinctly wondering, what is that?
And you ask them.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, that's just my mind.
Okay. Well, for those of you listening at home who can't see what I'm seeing right now, he has put up a slide of two stick figure, quasi matte graining cartoon rabbit people. And one is saying, what the hell is that? And the other one is saying, oh, just my mind. And there is rainbow spaghetti exploding out of the back of their head. And then in the corner it says, hi, I'm Brad. So, okay, well, you have my attention.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brad. And yes, this is my mind.
Your mind is an explosion of spaghetti rainbow. Let me take a drink. I think we're in for a ride. Okay. Tell me about your rainbow spaghetti mind, Brad.
All of this 24/7 going on behind me gives my family license to make fun of me. My kids think I cannot chew gum and walk at the same time. And when my wife and I go out, she doesn't like to let me drive because she doesn't think I can drive and talk at the same time.
Oh my God, there's a laugh track. Okay, guys. I think this is a TEDx first. We've had, canned applause before for openings and closings on such things, but okay. Anyway, sorry. I'll back up a little bit so we can hear the wonderment of that laugh track again. Faithless says anecdote. John Miller says this is self-vilification. I'm not sure he's giving an anecdote more than talking in the abstract. Let's wait for something a little bit more specific before we call it an anecdote, rather than just him sort of giving a hypothetical. Self-vilification, I don't think it's vilified yet. He hasn't made himself sound like he's terrible or something. But okay, back to the laugh track.
She doesn't like to let me drive because she doesn't think I can drive and talk at the same time. She usually wins. But fear not, I've managed to focus it in for all of us today, and I'm going to preface it with this.
And even if we say it's an anecdote, him having a spat with his wife over his driving or distractions, I don't have any reason to think that he's lying. So, Kieverdam says word salad. Not yet. I mean, I want to give him a chance to explain his whole "this is my mind" thing. If maybe there's something behind it, let's give him. We're only a minute 15 in. Let's give it some time here.
In the future,
yes,
well-being will not matter.
Okay.
Unless it is experienced.
Well-being will not matter unless it is experienced. Okay, I might be taking back my caution on the word salad thing.
The pandemic, we know, has forever changed us. The lines between personal and professional continue to blur. No one disputes that. But
whoa. Okay, that was a weird cut. That was not a cut I did. Okay. The lines between personal and professional continue to blur. Why? How? I understand that more people are working remotely, but a lot of people aren't. The pandemic has changed us forever. I don't actually believe that for sure yet, but it's an interesting assumption. You know what's been blurring the lines between the personal and the professional? It's not the pandemic. It's the entire bring your whole self to work movement amongst many companies, wherein the line between your real life and your professional life is not just blurred, it's practically eliminated. So there's no more such a notion as professional distance. They want your life to be entwined with your job so that you put in as much work as possible and are working for the company even when you're not at work. That's what's been doing it. If this guy's going to blame that on the pandemic, he's a bit behind the times. But all right, let me back up just a couple seconds because I cut him off.
This forever changed us. The lines between personal and professional continue to blur. No one disputes that. But despite it, what has not changed is this.
Okay. Some emulation says mind reading. Nobody disputes that. I'll give it to you. Sure. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, I might agree with the blurring thing. I don't agree that it was the pandemic that did it, but okay, legit. So a list, free space, mind reading, assumes motive. Word salad is on the docket here. Let me give him some more rope.
People, businesses,
yes,
organizations still want to win at the game of business, but also the game of life.
You can be a winner at the game of life.
How we define winning is changing too. We're beginning to add elements like purpose and legacy and connection.
Who's we? All right, it might be slightly preemptive, but I think I'm safe in circling word salad. I'm circling word salad. Okay.
Now let me say that I am specifically using the word well-being and not wellness. Wellness is out. Well-being is in.
Wellness is out. Well-being is in. You're going to have to define both terms for me then in order for me to understand the distinction you're making. I've already circled word salad, so I think that was a safe bet.
Wellness has traditionally been positioned in opposition to disease.
Wellness has been positioned in opposition to disease. Sure, that's one way of comparing and contrasting. You are well versus you are sick. Okay.
Traditionally been positioned in opposition to disease, or sometimes as one-off tactics, like a mindfulness workshop, or a mental health day, or a yoga class on the campus green. When we say wellness is out and well-being is in, it's why workplace wellness proponents, like Michael O'Donnell has said in the American Journal of Health Promotion, most programs, maybe 90 to 95%, are too superficial to have.
Okay, I know I cut him off there. One of the reasons why I pause just for reference relatively frequently in these things is that to try to avoid the automated content matching thing, I pause every few seconds or so. Usually that's a good place. I don't like to let it run too long, just to make sure that even though in the fullness of this stream, it will be obvious that this is all fair use. If I can avoid something that'll take it off the air for a while, I'd like to do so. Anyway, wellness is out, well-being is in. Michael O'Donnell says that most programs, maybe 90 to 95%, lack the necessary program components and are too superficial to have much impact. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Lack the necessary program components, too superficial. I need more detail. I don't even know where we are in all of this.
Programs, maybe 90 to 95%, are too superficial to have much impact. Now, well-being, on the other hand, is far more comprehensive.
What is wellness? What yoga, mental health day in opposition to disease? I guess. Okay. So what is well-being?
It accounts for factors that affect the entire person. Gallup defines well-being as encompassing 5 elements.
Gallup? The polling institution? What?
Physical, as we might expect, but also financial and social and community and career.
So wellness can't encompass the whole person, can't encompass. Okay.
And Dan Buettner's Blue Zones, those 5 areas of the world
What?
where people live a long, healthy life with vitality and independence as they age, one of which is in the US. He found 9 elements that also layer in things like purpose.
Wait. So you had 3 things earlier, and then 5, and now 9. 5 areas of the world, 9 elements of. I love to count.
And belonging.
Yeah.
And connection.
Yes.
Now, these are great starting points, but we have to resist our instinct to turn this into a cookie cutter concept and leave room for what is meaningful to each of us.
Okay, yeah. This entire thing is a word salad so far. What are you talking about?
I said well-being doesn't matter unless it's experienced.
But well-being doesn't matter unless it's experienced. Well, I guess if you are not in a state of well-being, then you're right. It doesn't matter because you're not in it. You have to work for it or hope to find it. I guess it's a goal. Oh my God.
Well-being doesn't matter unless it's experienced because it's the experience of well-being that drives performance.
Performance. It's not the experience of wellness that drives performance. If I'm well in body, if I'm well in mind, that doesn't drive performance? Really?
And people who perform at a high level win or position themselves to win.
It depends on what we're talking about, but okay.
On an organizational level, consider this bold statement by Gallup Chairman and CEO Jim Clifton. The most important dial on any leader's dashboard over the next 20 years will be well-being.
Okay, so in the next 20 years, it is going to be a corporate leader's responsibility to see to the well-being of their subordinates. I mean, I guess that is true and also has been true for some time. That's why you have, health insurance and a paycheck and conceivably maybe some other benefits that help keep the person happy and wanting to come to work and have an incentive to come to work and so on. I mean, okay.
And he went on to say, the money that well-being improvement will mean for companies in terms of job performance gains and job productivity gains, as well as healthcare cost reductions, is substantial.
Okay, and I know I might be a little preemptive here, but this is bleeding into what I was just mentioning earlier, the whole bring your whole self to work philosophy that's being pushed so often, where, as you said, the line between the personal life and the professional life are blurred to the point where you can't tell the one from the other. Should your work also be your life? Should your job be a component inherently to your overall well-being? Should it be integral to your well-being? I mean, it is one person to the next to decide that for themselves, but I can't help but think and feel there's something a little sinister about it being up to the leaders of a company or leaders in a job to oversee the overall wellness of their subordinates to that extent. But I don't know where our speaker's going. I'm getting a vibe.
How substantial?
I don't know.
Well, last year, the behavioral change organization BetterUp, published results of their research on the value of belonging at work. And they found that a high level of belonging was associated with a 56% increase in job performance, a 50% decrease in turnover risk, and a 75% decrease in sick days.
Okay, describe for me the mechanisms that inspire or create belonging at work, aside from, being given a desk and a paycheck. Thank you, Pecoraro, the Driving Ape Man. Work to live or live to work? Again, like I say, that's right about there. Okay, I'm just going to start repeating myself, so let's go.
For just a 10,000 person company, that's an annual savings of $52 million.
Yeah, 10,000 person companies are really common, I guess.
Gallup's research also has shown us that employees who are experiencing well-being are physically healthier, more engaged, and more productive at work.
Oh, okay. So if I'm understanding so far, and I do say that with some hesitation, companies can create well-being in their employees by conjuring or building a sense of belonging in their employees. And a sense of belonging creates well-being, and well-being leads to physical health, which reduces healthcare costs. Am I following the chain of logic here as it's been laid out?
At the software giant SAP, they don't pretend that employee well-being is solely about making employees happier and healthier.
We don't pretend that employee well-being is solely about making employees happier and healthier. Okay.
It's about making SAP a more successful company.
Yes, the bottom line is the success of the company. If you keep your employees healthy, if you keep them happy, if you keep them coming to work and doing their jobs and not causing problems, the company will, more likely than not, be more successful than the alternative. This is not rocket science. It's not a new theory. I'm very curious to know why you think it is.
Now, if we switch to the personal level, well-being can be personified by icons.
Switch to the personal level? You mean health and happiness isn't personal? It's public? Okay, I don't know. I'll back up a second or two because I cut him off. Thank you, Pecoraro, Driving Ape Man. Answers my question. This guy is live to work. And thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk, for the lovely Dogcat Fox. Hey, Dogcat Fox, see? People like you. Wowie, wow, wow. Yeah. Never mind all the haters. Okay.
Well-being can be personified by icons like Suzanne Summers.
Suzanne Summers from Three's Company? Okay. Thank you. This is Kyle. Sorry I'm late. Hello, chat people and scribbles. Hello, Kyle. Suzanne Summers is an icon of well-being. Okay.
Suzanne's a great example of well-being because she has longevity and vitality, and her well-being allows her to perform at a high level as an actress that we know and love, Chrissy Snow from Three's Company with roller skates and pigtails.
Yeah. How long ago was she in that role? I mean, when I think of Suzanne Summers now, I think more of her goofy exercise products that she pushed. What was that one that, I forget what it was. It was whatever it was, the thigh thing. The little spring-loaded deal you put between your legs and squeeze your thighs together. The Thigh Master. That's what it was. Thigh Master. Yeah. Was that her? I don't know. I don't care if it was her or not. That's the kind of thing I remember her for.
But also as a tremendously successful entrepreneur and businesswoman and an advocate for healthy fitness and aging. And last summer in Boston, I had the honor of presenting with her at the Harvard Club, and she was introduced first
That is quite the jacket our speaker is wearing there. That gives me some kind of Dean Martin vibes right there. Suzanne Summers. Okay, Kiever Dam, I did circle word salad a while back. We've covered that. Speaking of which, let's obviously that's not an anecdote that never happened. He did actually hang out with Suzanne Summers. But let's go to the bingo card real quick. Anecdote that probably never happened. He hasn't said anything that's beyond the pale, too convenient of an anecdote yet. So I can't circle that one. Self-vilification or wretchedness? No. Systemic institutional, you could make an argument he's talking about companies and things like that, but I'm going to sit on that for a minute. Weightless example. I don't know that he's given us any examples. He's given us a bunch of quotes, but they haven't meant much, and it's been mostly word salad, which we've already circled. Leaves out vital context. I will be circling that at the end of this, probably, just because he's going all over the place. Collectivize his own demographic. He hasn't talked about demographics per se. White supremacy, no. Privilege, no. Equity, no. Plays victim, no. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase. I'm going to call well-being or experiential well-being or whatever, or his definition of well-being versus wellness and all that. That's buzzword, buzz phrase territory. I'm circling that one. Wage gap, no. Patriarchy, no. Feminism, no. Diversity and inclusion, he hasn't said it yet. Marginalization, no. Make something about race, sex, etc. for no reason, not yet. Childhood or family anecdote. Yeah, family anecdote. He did talk about his wife and his kids, so that is at least a family anecdote. Contradicts own point or argument. I don't know that he's made an argument yet, but we'll see. Benevolent condescension. I feel a little talked down to, as though an employee's health and well-being makes the company do better is some kind of revelation. That feels a little duh, but I'm going to leave it for the moment. And microaggressions, unconscious bias. He hasn't brought that up yet. So far we have circled word salad, a list, free space, attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase, mind reading assumes motives, and childhood or family anecdote. So that's where we're at. Let's continue with Suzanne Summers.
But when I got up on stage, now she just turned 74.
Mm-hmm.
I was stunned because not only did she look fantastic, she was fantastic.
She's also in an income bracket that allows her to have a lot of access to a lot of things that most people don't. And sure, she's a health nut. She still looks good for her age, and on and on and on. All credit to Suzanne Summers. What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with the wellness of an employee in a company?
Her energy, her intellect, her humor.
Okay, you're simping for Suzanne Summers. Congratulations.
She walks the well-being walk.
Uh-huh.
And according to our own CDC, high levels of well-being are associated with decreased risk of disease, better immune function, faster recovery times, and increased longevity.
Yes, if you are mentally well, if you're emotionally well, if you're healthy, on and on and on, you will, more likely than not, live a healthier life. If you can believe it.
When we are experiencing well-being, we have energy and focus, and we're in charge of our reaction to stress. We have stress. We always have, always will, especially now. But we're able to choose our response and adapt and overcome, and that's called resilience.
Sure. And why or how is it a company's responsibility to improve the personal life of the employee? I mean, isn't there a limit to how far a company should get involved in their employees' personal lives or personal well-being outside of the basics of, say, healthcare, insurance, and a paycheck, and maybe some of the other benefits that some companies can afford? What are you advocating for here? Because we're talking about performance, we're talking about companies. What role should the company have in someone's overall well-being, mind and body?
And we also have a healthy perspective and a sense of connection and belonging. As I said, the future of well-being is evolving, and it's evolving with 3 important distinctions.
Yes, you brought up 3, and I don't think you've named them yet. Okay, what are the distinctions?
The first distinction is this.
Yes.
Well-being will be self-defined.
Well-being will be self-defined. Okay. What does that have to do with the company?
This is not a one-size-fits-all proposition. 20 years of helping patients reverse their chronic disease through lifestyle-based medicine has shown me and led me to believe that what one person wants to see out of their well-being may look very different from yours or yours or yours.
Wow. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Uh-huh.
The second distinction.
Yes.
Well-being will be intentionally engineered. Food will be engineered with climate change and sustainability.
What?
And planetary well-being in mind, like
What?
sourcing protein from crickets and
What?
plant-based meat alternatives and
What?
hemp-derived CBD-infused beverages.
What? Somebody earlier brought up CBD in the chat, and now it's what? What are you talking about? In crickets? Okay, thank you, John Miller. Is this the I'm fat and happy so I have good well-being things? I don't know. I'd be curious to know what our speaker would say about somebody who is in the body positivity mindset when it comes to physical health and well-being. But I'm sorry, I'm going to back up just a smidge because I am baffled as to how we suddenly went from you have to self-define your own well-being, which, duh, to planetary intentionality and eating crickets. Thank you, Pecoraro Driving 8 Man. Oh boy, is he all about the company store. I don't know where we're going now. I'm fascinated. Okay.
The second distinction.
Yes.
Well-being will be intentionally engineered.
Intentionally engineered.
Food will be engineered with
Food will be engineered.
Climate change and sustainability and planetary well-being in mind, like sourcing protein from crickets and plant-based meat alternatives and hemp-derived CBD-infused beverages.
Okay, so my well-being will be intentionally engineered by eating crickets for protein and drinking CBD. Okay, thank you, Mr. Tickletrunk. Quote, as an employer, you have a responsibility to meddle in your employees' lives. Oh, and how about that climate change? Let's give people CBD and the bugs. What? Thank you, Mr. Tickletrunk, but what? I don't even know what the third point is going to be at this stage of the game. I'm dying to know.
Artificial intelligence and digital health tools are going to be mainstream to include wearables like smart shoes we control with our phone.
Smart shoes we control with our phone. Like, I mean, is it going to have like automatic laces like in Back to the Future Part 2? Do I set the cushion adjustment through my phone to my shoes? Or do the shoes run for me with an app? Can we go back to eating crickets for a second? Smart shoes. Oh my God.
Patches, rings, sensors, wristbands, all that track and measure our physical, mental, and emotional well-being.
Yes, a whole body Fitbit. Oh my gosh. Thank you, John Miller. This guy has really swallowed the New World Order pill. Damn the World Economic Forum reset crap. I don't know where this man is living. I don't know what he is talking about. In the span of about 30 seconds, we've gone from every individual's well-being is their own defined well-being, to eating crickets, drinking CBD, and having smart shoes.
And communities will be engineered with green spaces and locality and connection and bike paths and walking paths, and a focus on improving the health outcomes of those communities.
Engineered communities. So like gated communities. Who gets to go to these engineered communities? Who gets to afford these things? These things are not already in place around. Have you ever had to deal with a homeowners administration or association in one of those gated neighborhoods? They already exist. City planning, neighborhood planning, these things already exist, but not for everyone. Thank you again, Mr. Tickletrunk. I predict at the end of this he will state, quote, knick-knack, paddywhack, give your dog a bone, and then fly off the stage under his own power at this point. I don't know. I'm still waiting for what the third pillar of this is, because if we can go from you define your own well-being to bugs, CBD, smart shoes, engineered communities, I can't imagine what the third dimension will consist of.
Like we're seeing with the Blue Zone projects all across the United States.
The Blue Zone project, I have no idea what that is. As far as I know, I've never heard of that.
And the third distinction.
Yes.
Well-being will ultimately be experiential.
Yeah, you mentioned that. That was actually the title of the subject, or the title of the presentation. Sorry. You said well-being needs to be experiential or it doesn't matter. But well-being being experiential is your third distinction. Shouldn't it be your first distinction, since without it being experiential, it doesn't matter?
Its successful achievement will be measured by the degree to which it is experienced,
What?
the degree to which performance is enhanced,
What?
and the degree to which we're able to manifest just the best version of ourselves. And no matter how each of us might frame our well-being, what's common is this.
Yeah.
That immense sense of joy and contentment and satisfaction that each of us feel when we define and engineer and experience it.
I have but one response, and it is this.
Now, technology will help us measure that experience.
Oh, yeah, because of smart shoes.
But who will champion well-being?
You. Me. Suzanne Summers.
On the organizational level, it's why you're already seeing a new addition to the C-suite, the Chief Wellbeing Officer.
The Chief Wellbeing Officer. So, the morale officer. Or maybe I'm simplifying it too much. What does the Chief Wellbeing Officer do? Are they in charge of birthdays?
At least if you're an organization that values performance.
Oh, snap. Well, if you're an organization that values performance, you've got a well-being officer. But those of you that don't, I guess you don't value performance. Dang, shots fired.
And this is industry agnostic. Consulting firms like Deloitte, law firms like Kirkland & Ellis, software giants like SAP, health systems like Novant Health.
Are those all clients of yours? Because except for like maybe one in there somewhere, I've never heard of any of them.
Universities like Arizona State all have chief well-being officers.
Well, I guess they're just perfect organizations then. Huh. All right. Well, so I then have to assume, and maybe he'll say so, I don't know. I then have to assume that ever since each one of these organizations created the office of the chief well-being officer, that their performance and bottom lines have done nothing but skyrocket ever since. Can I make that assumption? Are you going to draw that conclusion? Does bringing up chief well-being officer extend? Now I'll wait. I was thinking for a second, is that an example of institutional, etc.? But we'll wait.
And their purpose is very simple.
Very simple. Okay, I'm good with simple, because after Grasshopper CBD smart shoe engineered communities, I'm all for simple.
To help build stronger, more profitable companies.
That is the job of every executive in a business. Do you understand? And I know I'm speaking to the ether here. Do you understand what the ultimate purpose and goal of any particular corporation is? If you looked at a corporation as an entity unto itself, it's the bottom line. It's to its own success, its own profit, its own expansion, and onward and onward. That is inherent to the idea of a business. The chief well-being officer is not somehow a unique participant in that process. Neither are they the only one aiming for that goal. So you have yet to distinguish the chief well-being officer from anyone else in the upper echelons, if not the entire company of a company. So
through healthy, happy, and high-performing people.
Okay. How does the well-being officer do that? If companies have existed in the past, and they have and do, with healthcare plans and paychecks and other benefits that help to see that their employees are content and wanting to come to work and are compensated for their time and supported elsewise, all right. The chief well-being officer does what beyond the norm? What does the chief well-being officer do that is unique as compared to a company that does not have one? I need some distinctions here. You gave us 3 distinctions, which meant nothing, but I'm dying to know.
The chief well-being officer owns the strategy and implementation of that strategy such that it's driven into the DNA of the organization.
Give me an example. Give me an example of what that means, please.
They're the ambassador from the C-suite for people to be their best selves personally and professionally.
The ambassador from the C-suite for people to be their best selves personally and professionally. It's that personally part that, again, lends itself to my sort of sensation of sinisterousness, where company culture becomes your culture. But again, what exactly does a chief well-being officer do to see to someone's personal best self?
They curate and share the science behind well-being. They build awareness of its importance, and they lead the engineering of it.
The engineering. So they send out pamphlets on healthy eating or arrange yoga classes for people. Oh, no, wait. Yoga's for wellness, not well-being. I still have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
This concept of experience is not new. The experience economy, as we know it, is about 20 years old. It's not going away. We're actually digging a little bit deeper in.
The experience economy? What does that mean? What are you talking about? The experience have you ever heard of the world's oldest profession? Because the experience economy, in one way, shape, or form, has been around a little while longer than 20 years.
We're seeing it also in the C-suite as we see roles like customer experience officer, employee experience officer. I think it's time.
That was a cut. Okay. Okay, customer experience officer. You ever heard of customer relations, customer service? These things, these concepts have existed for a long time. This is nothing new. Nothing new. But it's time. It's time for what?
For a well-being experience officer.
Okay, so in addition to the chief well-being officer, there should be a chief well-being experience officer. How much more stratified do you want to make the well-being component of a company? What?
Now, let me say, this role is not a medical role. It's not a wellness role. It's not an HR role.
What? It's not a wellness role. It's not an HR role. It's not a medical role. And yet you just said that the wellness officer should be responsible for the health and well-being of the employees. How? This is me closing my eyes and pinching my fingers on the bridge of my nose.
It's not the chief medical officer who oversees a gigantic medical center. It's not the chief wellness officer who's charged with reducing burnout.
The chief wellness officer is charged with, all right, wellness, not well-being. So there's a chief wellness officer who is distinct from the chief well-being officer, and the chief wellness officer is to see that employees avoid burnout. I am discovering so much about modern corporate structures here. I had absolutely no idea.
It's not the chief human resource officer who's building and retaining exceptional talent.
Okay, it's none of those things. What is it?
It's distinct.
How?
We'll work closely with HR and even finance because we have to show an ROI, a return on our investment.
So what do you do if you're not HR and you're not finance and you're not wellness and you're not a medical professional? What are you?
Or what I like to call an ROWB.
What?
Return on well-being.
Oh. It's not a return on investment. It's a return on well-being. You want the line between the personal and professional to disappear, don't you? That wasn't a warning at the top of your talk. It's the goal. Thank you, Jago Dragon. Are you trying to commit self-ending by aneurysm? No. Whatever this is doing to me is complete. Well, okay. I guess I am choosing to continue to watch this, and so it's self-inflicted, whatever happens. But I'm not trying to explode my brain, but this guy's doing a really good job of getting me there.
It's not a 6 or 12-month initiative. It's not a walk event. It's not an annual biometric screen or the latest app.
No. It's got to be secure and persistent, or else you won't have a job in consulting with businesses to tell them how to build a well-being structure between a chief well-being officer and a chief well-being experience officer. and taking every possible role from other departments and granulating it down into individual chief officers, because what a company really needs is more bureaucracy and more confusion over whose responsibility is what.
It's a holistic approach to strategically driving long-term performance.
This guy, I'm not sure that he's not an artificial intelligence construct with a corpo speak generator at its heart. That, man, you can't get much more corporate speak than that.
The Chief Wellbeing Officer takes the goals and challenges of the organization over the next 5 years and marries those with the well-being needs of its members.
What does that mean?
They get senior leadership buy-in and they walk the walk, and then they assemble their team to execute.
Execute what?
On a personal level, well-being for me has been many things.
Oh, okay. All right. I am open to examples, active examples, even if they're personal examples. What is well-being to you, which then I have to assume thus becomes the responsibility of the chief well-being officer to oversee you as an employee?
But my foundation of well-being starts with family and friendship.
So the chief well-being officer is in charge of merging your family with the company, your friendship with the company, and the goals of the company, return on investment or return on well-being.
So I'm very lucky. I have a crazy, large, amazing Italian family, and when we get together, they talk too loud and they eat too much, and they take 30 minutes to say hello and another 30 minutes to say goodbye, but I would not have my well-being without them.
So should your company somehow be involved in dictating to you or engineering your family relationships and friendships in order to return the investment? If he does not immediately connect his family or the concept of one's family to the company and the chief well-being officer, which he just spent a long time quasi-describing, I will circle weightless example because it makes no sense.
And I also am lucky to have a group of friends that I lovingly call my bunch of monks. And it couldn't be any more true that I personally really do get by with a little help from my friends.
Okay, and what hand does the chief well-being officer have in all of that?
The best part is we get to be our own chief well-being officers.
No. No. You don't spend half the talk telling us about how companies need a chief well-being officer and then say each of us is our own well-being officer. What? If that's the case, then what's the point of having one in the company? What?
By defining it and then designing our life so that we can engineer it into our experience and ultimately do what I believe we are here to do, which is actualize our potential, whatever that may be, and then share that potential with our communities.
Jago Dragon contradicts own point. Oh yeah. Contradicts own point or argument. Circle in that one. Weightless example. I'm circling that one. Okay, two minutes left. Just two minutes.
And with our world. And one of the most beautiful things about creating well-being in the future is that we get to define what that means to each of us, no matter if we're a mom or a dad or an executive or an athlete.
But then what is the role of the chief well-being officer? Does the chief well-being officer have to go to each individual employee in the company and say, how do you define your well-being? And are they then to keep an individual file on each employee, on their likes, their dislikes, their needs, their wants, their desires, and then see to it that those things are fulfilled? Because otherwise, I have absolutely no idea what you've been talking about, on top of having absolutely no idea what you've been talking about for the last 13 minutes.
What we know is the experience economy. It's going to meld with well-being to create a well-being economy.
What does that mean?
We're already seeing evidence of this with experiential vacations.
Experiential vacations? So there have been vacations that aren't experiential prior to this? A Carnival cruise, or going to the Grand Canyon, or going to the Bahamas, those weren't experiential vacations. Now we're seeing experiential vacations. What? Mr. Tickle Trunk, thank you. Blue zones, man. Blue zones and bugs. Yeah, and smart shoes, and CBD drinks, and engineered communities, and experiential vacations. Thank you, John Miller. Breathe, Scribe, breathe. I'm trying. Can I make it through the next minute 30 seconds? Holy cats.
Like wellness retreats, like the one that changed my life in 2018.
Okay. A wellness retreat is an experiential vacation, and it changed your life. And for those of you watching, listening at home, I should say, there's a picture now of, it looks like a group of people in a cooking class. There's a chef there, and they're chopping up vegetables and that kind of thing. I've actually been to one of those. My boss one time, it was for like a team building exercise kind of deal. It was just kind of fun. We went to this restaurant or this kind of cooking place, and we learned how to make our own pasta. And we did it as a group, and it was kind of fun. It was kind of goofy, but it was all right. It was memorable, and I still remember it. Okay. What is that? Is that an experiential vacation? Going on a team building exercise to a kitchen? Thank you again, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Stop, count to 10. Woo-saw. Woo-saw? No, I have my own mantra. Okay. Goat thrapple. Goat thrapple. Okay, I'm centered. Let's go.
And companies with their products and services, like the Key Sunglass Company, who promotes an experience of their sunglasses on your own face.
Okay. How did chopping vegetables change your life? Experience of sunglasses on your face. I'm circling leaves out vital context. If not for that one thing just then, but for so much in this.
So you get an experience of what they look like on you.
Going to a store and trying on the product is now an experiential. Are you just taking mundane things and rebranding them into something that you say is new or innovative or some new development and evolution of society? Because that's what it sounds like you are doing. It really does.
Virtually at home. Or
I can virtually try on sunglasses at home.
and companies with their products and services, like the Key Sunglass Company, who promotes an experience of their sunglasses on your own face. So you get an experience of what they look like on you, virtually at home.
I don't know if you're aware of this. But there are eyeglass companies, online eyeglass companies that have been offering that, where you upload a picture of your face and you have sort of an overlay of the glasses or the frames so you can kind of get an idea, a rough idea of what it might look like, for years. Many, many years. Okay.
Or the Casper Mattress Napmobile that tours the country, a big 18-wheeler divided in 4 luxurious nap cabins, giving people an experience of their mattresses.
And nothing like this has ever been attempted by a company ever in the past of forever. It is now a new development where they actually bring the product to the people to let them try it out. Have you ever heard of door-to-door salesmen? By any chance? Oh, okay. Goat Thrapple.
Or in my home city of Atlanta, the Porsche Experience Center.
Oh.
When I was a kid, I used to tease my dad that when I grew up, I was going to buy him a Porsche.
Uh-huh.
And he never let me forget it.
Uh-huh.
And so on his 75th birthday, I could not buy him a Porsche.
Uh-huh.
But I could fly him down and take him as a gift to experience what driving a Porsche on their special track and all of those things really felt like.
So for your father's 75th birthday, you took him to a car dealership. Whatever floats your boat.
Now you can commoditize wellness products.
You don't say.
But you cannot commoditize an experience.
Yes, you just said. You just said Casper drives their nap truck around the country for people to try out their beds, to experience their product as a marketing tool. So what, might I ask? Just go with me for a second here, okay? Just go with me for a second. What, might I ask, do travel agencies market on a regular basis? Do they market vacation packages with planned events, planned activities, an itinerary of destinations? Do they do that? Do they happen to do that? Because I don't know, man. It seems to me that commoditizing experience is nothing new.
Of well-being. The future of well-being will be self-defined, intentionally engineered, and ultimately experiential. Take your first step into the future and thoughtfully reflect on what experiencing a life of deep well-being would really look like in your life.
Not listening to you anymore.
And do it as if no one else is watching. Thank you.
Good God. Okay. I don't know if we'll get a bingo out of this one, but I'll tell you what. I am decidedly. Okay. Let us go over the card one more time. It's only been like an hour. Oh my God, I feel like I've been watching this thing for forever. Okay. Anecdote that probably never happened. He showed a picture from his dad and him in the car, so I believe that happened. He showed a picture from his wellness retreat thing, even though he didn't tell us how that changed his life. And I believe him when he says his wife thinks his mind is somewhere else. As far as anecdotes are concerned, I believe them all. If you have something, chat and hold on to your arguments. Otherwise, let me go through the card first. I didn't see anything that was an anecdote that probably never happened that I doubt. Self-vilification or wretchedness. There may have been some self-deprecation, but nothing that he cited as him being somehow flawed or a terrible person or anything. I didn't see any of that. Systemic institutional. Okay. Talking about all the businesses and the companies and the ROI and the positions, et cetera, and so forth, and how you have to put in a wellness officer, change this, and the companies that do this and they don't. I'm circling systemic institutional. Collectivize his own demographic. He never brought up himself as a demographic. You know, he made some generalizations about people, but he never said I represent or what I think therefore extends out to all of these people or something. He never brought that up. White supremacy, no. Privilege, no. I mean, you could make the argument that, oh, well, he flew his dad out. No, I need a really good argument for that one. Equity, no. Plays victim, I didn't get a sense he was playing the victim in any particular situation. I didn't get that. Wage gap, no. I mean, he talked about positions in companies. He talked about wellness and well-being. He never really talked about differentials in compensation or something, so I can't do that. Patriarchy, no. Feminism, no. He didn't bring up gender at all, honestly, except for talking about his wife, I guess. Diversity and inclusion, no. Marginalization, no. Make something about race, sex, etc. for no reason, no. Benevolent condescension, I'm circling that one. If for no other reason than simply on the condescension part. The idea that you can't commoditize experience. What are you talking about? And microaggressions, unconscious bias. I could see an argument being made for unconscious bias just because of how he tried to compare and contrast companies that do and don't have a well-being officer, and one person's well-being is not another person's. If I really wanted to stretch, I could make unconscious bias. I'll leave that blank for now, just on the off chance that you guys have a better argument. Okay. I'm going to go to the chat now. If you guys have arguments for squares not circled, now's the time. No one, nowhere. He tried to collectivize all beings. expand on that a bit more, maybe. That one serving of Satania Scribe Light. Should we give him the chromosome lady treatment? The card looks more filled out, but I'm sure getting chromosome lady vibes from your reaction. I mean, this is up there. This is certainly up there. Even if there's not a bingo, there's definitely a giant WTF over the bulk of this presentation. Let me think about it. No one, nowhere. A singular path to the future, Scribe Light. Is that collectivize his own demographic? Faithless. Poor people cannot be well without the help of corporations. Well, I don't know about poor people, but just employees in general have to be an extension of the company, I guess. Robert Pincus, I did not get a bingo, but I did get a headache. Yeah, no, I'm feeling the drain here quite a bit. I don't see a bingo here, guys. I don't. I mean, he didn't hit on as many points as we might expect on a bingo card, but as far as overall frustration, you know what? I need to create a second category here. The chromosome lady category or something. I'll figure it out. But this guy falls into that special category. You're right. You're right. This is a WTF presentation. For lack of a better phrase, better category, this is a WTF presentation. This is a nonsensical, no through line, complete mind-melting journey of insanity and frustration. So, yeah, this gets the WTF award. The second one ever. The first one retroactively went to Chromosome Lady. And for the sake of distinction, this is the WTF award. It's not a bingo. I'm not going to call it a bingo. I can't recall if I made it a bingo the first time, but if I did, I'm taking that back. It's not a bingo. It's this TEDx is special. This is a special. It's up there with the worst of the worst. Chromosome Lady being the first. So yeah, I'm not going to call it a bingo. I don't have a soundbite or something for it per se. But there you go. That's what this is. This is a rare WTF TEDx. It gets the WTF award for most nonsensical. It joins the very exclusive ranks alone with Chromosome Lady. Chromosome Lady and Wellbeing Guy. That is their supervillain names for the sake of this series. Chromosome Lady and Wellbeing Guy. And there you go. I think I'm done, guys. If you couldn't have told 10, 15 minutes ago, I'm done. I'm done with this. I need a break. I'm done. But regardless, everyone, thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey of, I don't know what, but it was a journey. It took a long time to get here, but here we are. If you would like to hear more from me, or Satsu 2 Cents, or the Ranting Monkey, you can find all three of us tonight on Satsu 2 Cents' channel at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern for The Lords of the Night, where we will talk about the news of the day, news stories that you submit, what we've been up to on the internet, and your questions and comments. Everyone, thank you again for joining me. Thank you for your attendance. Thank you for your participation. I don't think I could have gotten through this without you. And those of you who donated, thank you. Thank you so much for your generosity. I will most definitely be using it to put terrible things into my body, like goldfish crackers and Jack Daniels, to try to insulate my brain from this TEDXcellence. Everyone, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I hope you're all safe and well. Whatever your well-being is, I hope you are all well. If you're not well, please get well soon. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care.